program really useful for using tools, being exposed to tools, but also putting them into action. That idea that when you actually go through the process of doing something, you learn a lot from it, and it gives you a lot of useful experience for applying it the next time round. With the tools, I think they'll be really valuable for our team in developing ideas and evaluating them and strengthening them, and hopefully improving the world.
I found the process to be very useful. Often, particularly working in government, you find it's very rigid and very structured and very risk adverse. So having some tools and being given the freedom to think in an open way, to challenge the boundaries, to learn that it is actually okay to fail, but to find a safe way to do it and to experiment and try new things, really empowered us to be able to push the boundaries and come up with some new ideas to try.
I think using that step-by-step guide, it assisted us in achieving the end result that we came up with, and ultimately then using that methodology in our role playing, which helped us to understand the problem and how we can actually apply the methodology and the theory to a real life problem. And I think it all proved successful at the end.
I've loved watching people develop through the process. I've loved the idea that people have put their black hat to the side and said, let's think about what can be done, and really developed beyond what, and really become advocates of doing stuff that can be done. And I love to see that these people now go out into the business and become advocates of that. And it will make a difference, and it will shape the way that we do business. I loved that it was high level in some instances, and I loved that it was operational in others, because innovation is both. It's not just thinking at the strategic level, but it's also thinking at the, well, what's that one thing that we can do differently tomorrow?
It allows for a lot of different approaches for people. So I like that using the tools you could come up with different things. You weren't locked into things. The tools themselves, they're good, flexible, they're sensible and logical, and they're not hard to apply, so it's good.
Really interesting innovation tools. I found a lot of them were very intuitive, and the fact that they're intuitive meant that I got them quickly. And so having tools that you can go back to and use in different situations is really helpful. And because they're intuitive, they're not hard to remember and they're not hard to teach other people. So I think we'll make really good use of some of the innovation tools, particularly around ideas generation and ideas harvesting. And I think, really great thing for VicRoads to have under its belt.
The program allowed those tools to be introduced, and when exercised through the various steps that the program put the team through, they were able to actually recognise that some of their initial impulses needed to be challenged and reviewed, so that they could review their ideas and look for conclusions that actually had a greater impact.
Okay, so the overall program I really thought was fantastic. I can see that it could be used, I could use it in my workplace for some of the issues that I have, and particularly some of the different, problem solving or issue teasing out type tools.
The interesting thing about it was that it was a fairly compressed process, and in terms of trying to manage it on top of your day-to-day work, it did kind of present a challenge. But I guess that compressed time frame really made us focus on the output. So in terms of the tools, it was an interesting concept as well, kind of trying to be presented with a real-life problem, as well at the same time trying to learn the tools to solve those problems. So those are the kind of challenges, but it does allow us to kind of work together, knowing that those are the challenges we're all facing, and kind of go on a journey together, if you will, and kind of get end results.
What the X Team process did for me was provide me with a framework and a process to work through. which I liked, but it also gave me tools to work more freely within the process. So it didn't constrain my free thinking and our team's free thinking, but stepped us through a method to be able to come out with some ideas at the other end.